Morning everybody, Naomi back for another short video. I think this will be a short one. And we're going to look at a verse that we find in Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And what brought this up was someone that's very dear to me is really having severe attacks come against him. And what he said to me is, I'm just so tired. That was the words. And it didn't occur to me at the time, that there was a verse that actually correlates to that understanding that he gave me. And so, the Spirit works, I think really works in our sleep, because that was at night. And I never thought of the verse until the following morning. And then it was just there. It was like, that's what that's talking about. And I truly believe now, in hindsight, that it is this wearing out of the saints. Because he said, I'm just so tired. I feel worn out, worn down, right? And this is what today's society does to us saints. It attacks us. It attacks us with this issue that we have to deal with that issue. When I was in school, I didn't have to deal with the issues that so many children have to deal with today. Even in high school, for me it was, getting your homework done. If you didn't get your homework done, you were going to be in trouble with the teacher. And dating and stuff like that. But nothing too life-altering like so many of the issues that they have to deal with today. And part of the reason why it's so prevalent in our children's lives is technology. You can be walking through the hall and the next thing somebody's got this little tech device with a nudie pic pulled up on it. Or some other thing, and we know how many things they can pull up on that tech today and just flash it. And for those who wants to fit in to society heavily, they're going to push these issues, and they're going to push them on those of our children that don't step in line. And these are heavy attacks against our poor little children out there on the front line every day. And so this verse came to me, and I would ask for prayers for my son going through these hardships. So many children are, for all our children, that the Spirit will come upon them mightily. They're out there on the front lines. They really are. But this is the verse that struck me, okay? And I didn't really want to bring my son into it, but it is my son. So 7:25, it says this, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and at the dividing of time. And verse 26, but the judgment shall sit. The judgment shall sit. And they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. Now watch what this rendering says. I've got it pulled up here, so just give me a second, folks, okay? This is what it says. It says, verse 25, it says, he will speak out against the Most High, and oppress the saints, and we're going to look that word up in a minute, of the Most High, intending to change the set times and laws. And the saints will be given into his hand for a time and times and half a time. Verse 26, but the court will convene, and his dominion will be taken away and completely destroyed forever, or hers. Because the principality of the power of the air, your spirit, is what's holding the dominion of the air, or the spirit. And then that reflects in the physical world, in that her counterpart is fallen Adam. All right? So his dominion is going to be completely removed. Hers is going to be completely removed. Hers is removed. His is removed. That's how it works. The two are one. So, but watch this. When you go in, let me see here, and you look up that word, oppressed, or to wear out, watch what it says, okay? And this makes me also think, often, because I was one, and I still am, you know, 7 years ago, I was certain the rapture was going to happen then. I was certain. And I was hanging on for dear life. And I was like, there's no way the rapture is not going to happen within the next year. And it didn't. And I was like, well, okay. Because various saints would come online with a new time frame and say why that one wasn't the time frame. And they'd say, well, it's because we're looking at the wrong calendar. Or we're looking at the wrong time frame. And you see, that's what this says. It says he's going to think to change the times and the laws, which actually governs our calendars and our times. And he's going to wear out the saints of the Most High. Well, now you could say I've got it took out of context, and maybe I do. But it certainly seems to apply at this time. We are feeling worn out. We are feeling battle. You know, we're just so tired of this battle every day. And our children are just, they're struggling right now with so many issues. It's hard for us as adults that knows, for the most part, what we think. Our children are just developing. And to have to make these big, life-altering decisions, they should not have to be facing it at their age. We didn't have to face those life-altering questions until we had gotten a little bit of understanding in life. And so they're out there on the front lines. And they need our prayers. Every day they need our prayers. So what's that word? Shall persecute. That was the word. All right? Shall wear out the saints of the Most High. So let's look at the word. You know what it has the idea of? And it's only used once. And your word is number 1080. Okay? And the Aramaic corresponding to Bala, which is B-A-L-A-H. And it means to wear away or out, to wear down. Figurative for harass continually. Accusative of person. Well, if there's one thing my son's admitted to is that his friends constantly harass him for his personal beliefs of what he believes to be right and what he believes to be wrong. So he's constantly harassed. But this is what it means in a deeper sense. Aramaic corresponding to Bala, but used only in a mental sense. To afflict, to wear out. So they're wearing us out mentally. They're wearing our spirit down, you know? And they've got it fine-tuned. Because just when you're sure you've pinpointed, okay, well, we know we're going home, we're in the season, but the season seems to go on and on and on, and then the next year comes and goes. And it takes a toll on you mentally. And that's why I think it's important maybe that we don't necessarily focus so heavily on the rapture so much as getting the truth in the Word. Because I think the more truth we dig out of the Word, the real truth, as led by the Spirit, and not by mankind's fallen theology that they're going to teach you from the pulpit, but to empty yourself out completely of everything that you think you know, of everything that you've been taught, and to look at the Scriptures with a fresh pair of eyes, and to allow the Spirit to fill you full of these truths, I think we're going to get home a lot faster that way. I really do. Because that's what great God Almighty is waiting on, I think. But if you've been watching my videos and paying attention, then you know that I already believe that. But that's what it looks like, doesn't it? You know, when you look at it, if you're one of those saints that's feeling very worn down and very worn out, and it's a mental wearing down. They're throwing issues at us constantly. And then we're constantly looking at, well, is this date possibly the rapture? Is this what it's indicating? And then when it doesn't happen, they'll say, well, wrong calendar. It's this calendar. We're looking at the wrong time frame. It's not this, it's this. And it boosts you up, and then you come down. It boosts you up, and then you come down. And I did that for quite a few years. And then I just said, you know what? I can't focus on the rapture. I have to focus on the Word. I have to focus on the truth. And I can't count on anybody else to go find that for me. I have to go find that for myself. And I can only do it through the Spirit, when I allow the Spirit to lead me and to teach me these things. And so that was what I determined to do in my life. And I certainly can't, tell you what to do with yours. We all have our callings for sure. But isn't it interesting that, I just couldn't help but feel that he was saying, Mama, I'm just so worn out. I'm mentally tired of the battle. They're just wearing me down, Mom. And it's a shame, because they're right there on the front lines every day, battling something that, back in my day, when I was going to school way back in the 70s and 80s, I didn't have to battle that. That wasn't a battle I had to face every day of my life. And it's a shame that they do, and they need our prayers, that they might be mighty ones, And so, what does verse 26 say again of Daniel 7? It says this, but the court will convene, and his dominion and her dominion will be taken away and completely destroyed forever. So, court's in session. And, but we're going to win this battle. We're clearly going to win this battle. Because his dominion, her dominion, is going to be taken away and completely destroyed. And that's a promise by great God Almighty. And I think that's the promise that we have to hold on to as saints. And yeah, we can keep our hopes in the rapture alive. Just don't get so tied to it that that's the only thing you can see anymore. Go in the Word. Open it up to you anew. And it'll breathe a new life into you that you never knew was there. That fresh water being poured into me those years ago, I needed it. I really needed it. And I still need it. Because every day it is a battle. And we do need the refreshing through the Word. But don't go to commentary. Go to study yourself. Go to study yourself. And ask the Spirit to show you the truth of the words. And the Spirit will lead you into all truths. And so there was one other thing that I wanted to add in here. Yesterday on my video, I say yesterday, sorry. Okay, there's mine. I couldn't think of a passage where they say it's he. But I pinned it on, I wrote it in my comment section under my video for anybody that was interested in knowing where that passage was. And so we're briefly going to take a quick look at that, and then I'm going to go, okay? And we found that in Isaiah 63. And this is what I was trying to find. That when you get so many passages on the go, you just get so you can't remember them all. But the passage in my Bible is called Victory, all right? And it's found in Isaiah 63, and this was the passage I was trying to find to add in. But it says this in verse 1 of Isaiah 63, who is this that cometh from Edom? Now, we already discussed Edom's derivatives. It takes you to Adam. So who is this that comes from Edom, Adam, earth, maybe? With dyed garments from Bozrah, this that is glorious in his apparel. It says, I truly believe this is daughter Zion, because we are told that it is daughter Zion that will do the threshing of the nations. We're clearly shown this. And she is Christ's spirit, and she does sit to his right hand in Psalm 110. So I truly believe this is not a he, this is daughter Zion. So that this that is glorious in her apparel, traveling in the greatness of her strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. And it is salvation, we know, deeds, works, mighty acts, which would come in the action of threshing, is feminine. Now they don't give it a feminine here, but it is a feminine clearly identified in the scriptures. Works and deeds, Yeshua, the feminine Yeshua, and that's 3444. And she's shown as the one that does the threshing. She's to the right hand of Christ, like I said in Psalm 110. And she is sent out of Zion. She is Christ's strength. She is his spirit, because that is where you're paralyzed, in your spirit. So verse 2, wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like her that treadeth in the wine fat. So she's treadeth the nations. She's threshed the nations. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. So this is daughter Zion actually reflecting Christ, right? That's really what this is. It's a reflection of Christ, her beloved. And his enemies are her enemies, and her enemies are his enemies, okay? The two are one. They have distinct roles, but the two are one when it is all said and done. Verse 4, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed has come. Wonder what year that might be. 5, and I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. Verse 6, and I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. So there we have it. That was the passage I wanted to include on my last video. I just drew a complete blank on it. So again, I thank the saints out there who are bothering to pull up my videos and watch them, take the time to actually listen and to watch. It's not easy to hear, you know, somebody spiel a different theology, but it does come by way of the Spirit showing me I truly believe the truth. And I said this in a prior video a long time ago. You know, I just had come to the end of myself, and I fell to my knees, and I said, who am I in you? I need you to show that to me, Lord, because nobody else can do it. Nobody else could show me who I was. Only the Spirit could do that, and the Spirit did that. I mean, wow, did the Spirit do that for me. And so, again, I would ask for prayers for not only my son, who's out there on the front lines every day, having anxiety attacks, I might add, but pray for him. Pray for all of our children. They're out there on the front lines taking a beating and a pounding that we can't even begin to comprehend, in their struggles. So I guess that'll wrap up this video. And may the Lord bless all the precious saints out there. I love y'all. And I hope you all have a blessed day.